You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
On this Friday review, where each and every Friday I try to bring you the absolute best of the week, what's going on in my private practice, what I'm using and really looking into in my own life, plus bringing you product reviews, bringing you the best research that you can use in your real life that actually matters, right? That isn't just some way out there research that you'll never have any use for at all. And of course, I want to bring you what we have going on at Equilibrium Nutrition or whatever might be going on. So really looking forward to this. Love the Friday shows because anything goes. Anything that's going on, I want to bring to you. And just yesterday, celebrating Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is one of my absolute favorite holidays here in the United States. I know we have listeners all over the world, but for us, really, it's simply a day of spending time with those we love. So we're spending time with family, with friends, or maybe you're out at a soup kitchen or doing some charitable type work. And it's however you're looking to spend the day, give back, or just give thanks for all of your blessings. So it's an amazing holiday. There's no gift giving. What we do at our family is that everyone brings a couple different dishes of food, and we all get to share a meal together. And the nice thing is, and hopefully you listened to my show yesterday, I get to do it twice. And so a lot of people say, oh, that's a crazy day. But we do that every holiday. So it's at my family's, then it's at my wife's family, and we do that for Thanksgiving, we do it for Christmas, we do it for Easter, we do it for all sorts of different traditional holiday celebrations we did as kids, my wife and I. So really great day. Looking forward to being back with you here today, though, and sharing with you the best of the week. So let's get started. I always like to start the show with what we have going on over at Equilibrium Nutrition so that you don't miss it. And hopefully you saw that starting this Wednesday, meaning 2 days ago, we began our Black Friday, Cyber Monday promotions. Now, we are not a company that does a lot of sales. One, we give you our everyday low price, the same price that we offer in the practice, and we want to do that for everyone all around the world. And again, it's free shipping over $99 all the time. And for under that, it's only $4.95. I always tell people, keep in mind, it costs us on average, and I'm just being honest with you, a little over $10 to ship packages. So we're still paying for that. And we're just charging even just $4.95 just to help out a little bit with the shipping if it's under $99. But all labs, everything goes free shipping over the $99. So what we're doing, though, starting this past Wednesday, is up to 25% store-wide, up to 25% off store-wide. We only do this twice a year, and typically it was just once a year. We did it for the holidays, for Black Friday, every single year. Well, this year we did it in July, a little bit of the holidays in July, and then 6 months later, we're now doing it for our Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I know you have a lot of options out there, but I can tell you this, that our products, our labs, they're not just backed by the science and backed by results. They're backed by real people, and that's what I want you to know. People ask me all the time, should I do a lab through Equilibrium Nutrition, or should I do it through X, Y, and Z company? And I say, well, through Equilibrium Nutrition, what you're getting is a review by our team. We are actually looking over your labs, and we're making our personalized wellness recommendations for you. So we're not diagnosing, we're not treating, we're not trying to cure disease. What we look at is rebalancing the underlying root causes that are keeping people unwell, overweight, and aging at a rapid rate. So what we need to do is help with those things, and that's exactly what we do. And we offer you the support, which is just not available that I know of at any other company. So head on over to equilibriumnutrition.com if it makes sense for you. Pick up something for yourself at up to 25% off. Pick up some healthy holiday gifts for your family this year. Okay. So one more thing I just wanted to share about that is that we have now, and it's just been about 6 weeks, we've given away over 1 million rewards points in our loyalty rewards program over at Equilibrium Nutrition. So we have something called the Achieve Equilibrium Rewards Program, and we've had Many thousands of people sign up for it. It's completely free. When you make a purchase, you earn points. Those points are then used for free products, free labs, free coaching calls, exclusive t-shirts and organic bamboo sweatshirts that are super soft and they're amazing that you can't get anywhere else. And they're also, you can get a signed copy of the Rain Barrel Effect, which is not available even to be purchased now. So it's pretty fantastic. I will link it up in the show notes today. Just head on over to StephenCabral.com/1393. And of course, you can always go over to EquilibriumNutrition.com, click on the banner as it rotates through, or go to the bottom and just click in the footer and just click on Loyalty Rewards. Completely free to sign up, earn rewards, earn points, and get a lot of great free stuff. Okay, so now on to the fun things that I have going on right now. So first, I want to share with you something that is not so fun. It's just November, and I got a cold, and I'm not happy about that. And it was last week. Now, I've had a ton of travel. I've had a ton of speaking. I've had a lot of stress, good stress, but I've had a lot. So, less sleep, overnight flights, not great, right? Kids were sick, still didn't get sick for 2 weeks when my kids were sick. Feeling great, did overnight flights, went to Germany, spoke, met with a bunch of people, all good. Came back, starting to feel a little run down, and eventually it caught up with me. Got sick, had to go on another speaking trip. Anyway, not happy. So, I'm better now. Feel great. Don't get me wrong. I recover quick. That's what it's all about. I always tell people, you can get sick. Just make sure you recover quick. That's really what it's all about. That's a sign of a good, strong immune system. But I don't want it to happen again. Now, part of the reason is that Boston is freezing already this time of the year. Now, ideally, it's not supposed to be. It's really not. It's supposed to be maybe mid-50s, lower 50s, but we've already had temperatures in the 30s. It's crazy. So it's part of it. We switch right away. I mean, September, it can still be high 60s, low 70s. Then all of a sudden, 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, we have 30 degrees. It's crazy here. But it's part of the beauty, and it's part of the curse of living in New England. So what I'm doing, though, is I'm just saying, you know what? I've got to ramp up the immune system. To start this winter, I have a lot of plans. I want to be healthy for the holidays. I want to have a great time with my family, with my friends, and I want to get to work starting in January. We have a lot planned for you, and I'm excited about it, right? For me, it's work, but it's not really work because I'd be doing it anyways. That's the truth. I love what I do. And then I have a lot of travel as well. So what I'm doing, though, is I'm going back to my vitamin C every single morning. I take my full spectrum vitamin C. I get about 1 gram a day, but I'm using my alkalizing vitamin C every single morning, 1 scoop, basically when I wake up, just doing that with my daily fruit and vegetable blends. Okay, but I'm going back to starting my day, which I did last year all through the winter. I was my healthiest I'd ever been. I can't say it's just this one thing, but it's never one thing, right? In natural health, it's never one thing. There's no silver bullet. But I started my day every single day with an apple. An organic apple. And I'm going back to that as well. An apple a day keeps the doctor away? Well, we'll see. Can't hurt. I've done it on a podcast before. I show all the specific polyphenols and antioxidants in it, but it's one more thing. And the other thing that I'm doing for daily immune support, I'll get in more into this in the show, but I'm starting to use and just experimenting with 2 grams of Reishi mushrooms every single day. So I'm using it as a tea or in powdered form, but I'm aiming for about 2,000 milligrams per day. So the reason I'm doing this is that Reishi, the mushrooms, R-E-I-S-H-I, or I believe. And the reason is that Reishi mushrooms are a little different. In traditional Chinese medicine, they are called the immortality mushroom. And they also help, though, with rebalancing the immune system. So if you're Th2 dominant, they're one of the few mushrooms that actually can help with that. If you have allergies, usually a lot of yeast or fungi are not so great for you. And if you're more prone to Th2 dominance, which I am, mushrooms are not always the best thing. However, Reishi mushrooms can be. If you're someone that grew up with a lot of viruses, HPV, Epstein-Barr virus, etc., Reishi mushrooms may potentially be helpful. So I have a long history with Epstein-Barr virus and all sorts of different viruses with Th2 dominance. And anyway, my body's just more prone to inflammation. So I'm going to be using reishi mushrooms. It's not something that's going to work overnight. I'll let you know 8 weeks, 12 weeks from now if I feel like it's had a potent effect on immunity, energy, overall vitality of the body. All right, so stay tuned. I will keep you updated on that. All right, one more fun thing. I've got a lot of dreams, right? I have a lot of dreams. I am a dreamer. I mean, for sure. Like, I am someone that visualizes, that dreams. Here's the difference now in my life. It's only been, a lot of people think that I've been, doing visualization forever. Maybe it seems like forever. I don't know. But maybe, well, you know what? I've been doing it longer than I knew. Like, even as a child, I was doing it. I was dreaming, right? I was a dreamer. I was a daydreamer. So that's visualization. So I should say then, okay, it's been happening a long time. But specifically visualizing, for about 15 years, 16 years, okay? And I've seen some amazing things come true in my life. Things that should no way happen. That people like me, my background, where I come from, all of those things, it's not supposed to happen. It's not. But slow and steady, gradually believing a little bit more in myself. It didn't happen overnight. Started to see some smaller things come true. Just started to believe just a little bit more and a little bit more. My progress has never been like the hare. It's never been speedy to the finish line. It hasn't been the tortoise either. It's just been moderate, right? So I visualize something and maybe 18 months to 2 years to 3 years later, it comes true. Now you might say, well, that's forever. Well, maybe, but some of these things are bigger things. It's like opening my first training in nutrition studio, okay? The next thing, or even going to become a personal trainer when I was 17, opening my wellness center, right? So it's all of these things, and it's just slow and gradual. There are other smaller things as well along the way. It's like, okay, visualizing my condo in Boston, and visualizing this, and visualizing that, and it's all of these things. But one thing I did want, I wanted this specific office. I wanted an office that I could meet with small groups of people, so that it wasn't just one-on-one, but it was also a quiet space, that it was almost like a man cave, right? I don't know if you've ever heard of like the man cave. It's like all the kind of nice things that you want in there. That's what I visualized. And you can create a women cave as well. That's great too. But this is just something that I've like, hey, like this is what I would like in there. Well, I guess I am a complicated person, but it's simple in what I want. And I wanted a very nice open space. Right now, I've gone from this huge wellness center, then this virtual private practice with a waiting room, and then a private practice, a private office with all of my books. It's everything I wanted. But, again, your dreams can morph. They can change. And I wanted this open space. And I got to experience this when I was actually... And again, sometimes just nice things happen. I was in this hotel room and I was speaking at an event, and without me knowing it, the event coordinator upgraded my room to a suite. And I said, oh, this is such a nice thing. Like that's a really nice thing. I don't know what it cost them maybe per night to do this. Maybe it was a couple $100, but I wasn't expecting it. I was just expecting a regular room, and I'm fine with that. I don't need a fancy room. And it was my room, and it opened up to this. It had to be 300, 400 square feet of an extra room. And it had this big desk, and it had couches, and it had a coffee table and a meeting area, and it had a little kitchenette that you could just prepare some food or a coffee or blend up a smoothie. And then it had a TV on the back wall, and it had its own little bathroom. And I sat in this office, and I was there for 3 days. I was one of the guest speakers of the event. And I lived in that room. Like, I was supposed to be there and listening to all the other speakers, and I did. But there's something about if you can get to experience your dream ahead of time. And I was like, this is amazing. This is exactly what I want. A quiet space. I can hold meetings there. I can bring in, 3 or 4 of my IHPs and teach them at a time. I could bring in 3 or 4 wellness clients, and we could talk about their overall wellness. Like, this is what I want to do. And then the space is big enough that I could do guest interviews for my podcast. I could invite people in. I've got a little kitchen area where I can make smoothies for people, and I can actually put that on video and show you how I make smoothies, how I make these superfood blends. And then I can have a TV monitor on the wall or a whiteboard, and I have enough space. I have that in my office now, but it's not enough space really to film. And I can set that up and already have it ready to go for filming. And then I can have my desk, and I can be overlooking the city. And I visualized this 3 years ago as I moved into the current space. And now it's finally happening. Well, it's been about, and I would actually not say 3 years ago, about 2 years ago. And so it's there. So why am I sharing this with you? One is I want to start inviting more people to Boston. Not a lot of people. I love speaking to big groups. But sometimes it can be, I have to be on. But when I'm in with a small group of people, 3-4 people, it's relaxed. We can go out. We can go have lunch together at one of my favorite plant-based restaurants down the street. And I can have a space to film, and I can have a space to do my quiet research. I love to research. And I can invite people in for podcast interviews. It's going to be great. Anyway, I just wanted to share my excitement with you, but not so much because this is what you want. This is my life, right? But I want to share with you that it can happen. Right? I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know when it was happen, but I believed in it. And I said, the end date doesn't necessarily matter. What matters to me is that I can dream about that I can hope to achieve that, and I can one day accomplish it. And now it's coming true. They're building out the space right now. So super excited about it. I can't wait. It's right in the heart of Boston, where I live, where I work, where my people are. And maybe, I don't know, one day I can open it up and share that space with you as well. So anyway, wanted to share that with you. Again, did a couple things of what I'm doing right now, some of my dreams and aspirations, and how my practice is kind of always shifting and moving, and that's how your life should be as well. Create, achieve anything that you want in your life, and then don't be afraid to then set your mind on something else. Be grateful for what you have. You don't want it to change necessarily. Amazing, right? Love it, live in it, and enjoy it. But then you can say, okay, well, what the next evolution might be, right? And you just keep your mind open to that. That's all. Okay, want to bring you a couple research studies for today. I wanted to keep this on the super positive today. I do have to bring you all sorts of things with, like next week, I might bring you one on how extra weight gain affects the aging of the brain, not just the body. But what I want to do is this. I want to keep it positive today. I want to bring you 3 positive mind-body-based research that shows you that I really do, that we need to start integrating how we feel, how we look at the world, our emotions. Part of the de-stress protocol that I created, 2 parts are mind and emotion based out of 8. Most people what's the mind have to do with healing? Only everything. I only got better, meaning I was getting better through doing the things I was doing the right diet, I was doing the right exercise, I was doing the right herbs, I was doing the right vitamins, I was doing those things. But I would still relapse. Every 3, 4, 5 months, I would still relapse. I'd get better, get back on the path, feel great, and then I'd relapse again. Why are you relapsing 3, 4, 5 times a year? Well, it'd be during times of extreme stress. And I was a stress case. There's no doubt about it. I was the perfectionist. I was the have to get all A's in school, have to do this, have to be the best at sports, have to do this. I always had something to prove, right? So I had to work on that. I had to chill out. That's what I had to do. And that's part of the mind body. So let me just bring you 3 today. I love these. So I saved them for you, and I want to do them all in one show. The first one is this. Love this one too. Okay? This is why we need this in cancer therapy. I'm going to give you the direct quote. And there's a lot. I have to get the direct pronunciation for you, but look into this, okay? I want to say it's in Israel, but don't quote me on that. I'm just going to link this up today. So here, head over to stephencabral.com/1393. Click on the link, follow along with me as I'm going through the podcast. Feeling good may slow tumor growth. When the brains of mice were stimulated after the animals had cancer cells implanted, they released dopamine, which disabled some cells that promote tumor growth. And the mice's immune systems responded more effectively against the tumors. So remember, we can produce our own dopamine. Feeling good, feeling focused, having energy, having drive, having ambition, visualizing, all of those things can help stimulate dopamine. I did a show. All you have to do is type in neurotransmitter at stephencabral.com/podcast and it will pop up. What I will see is if my team can embed that today at stephencabral.com/1393. Okay? Check that out. Again, check out the research they're doing. I don't call it this, but the world calls it alternative medicine. Remember, there's no alternative to alternative medicine. If you want to get well once and for all, there's no alternative to alternative medicine. Okay, so check out Technion, Technion. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Just understand that pronunciation is not my forte. Technion, Israel Institute of Technology. A lot of research comes out of there in so-called alternative medicine. All right, published in Nature Communications. All right, that's one study. Check that out. I will link it up today directly to it at the podcast show notes. All right, Love this one as well. I'm going to save the best for last, though. All right, so let me go to the second one. Night owls who reset their body clocks reduce stress and improve performance. In a 3-week study, I know it's only 3 weeks. It's small, I know. But it goes back to common sense. And I've done many shows on why there's no such thing as a night owl, and night owls are not healthy. In a 3-week study at the universities in UK and Australia, it was a joint study, participants with bedtimes after 2 a.m. reported lower rates of depression and stress and performed better on cognitive and physical tests after shifting their schedules by 2 hours, meaning they started to go to bed before midnight. Getting to sleep and waking up earlier, maximizing exposure to sunlight in the morning, and limiting screen time and light before bed. This was done by Dr. Facer Childs, and it was done at Monash University's Sleep and Circadian Rhythms program, Notting Hill, Australia. And I guess she's also the author of a book called Sleep Medicine. Keep in mind, I've gone over circadian rhythm many times. I've gone over the Ayurvedic body clock. If you want to check out my show on Ayurveda and the Ayurvedic times of the day, go and check out that show. Super powerful stuff. We as humans were meant to wake up with the rising of the sun. We were meant to go to bed an hour or two after the setting of the sun. This is built into our circadian rhythm with how our digestion works, with how detoxification works, with how our body shuts down cortisol at night and begins to produce more melatonin. And again, all of these things matter. They really do. I mean, there is no one secret to success. All of it matters. And in the de-stress protocol, when you get into resetting the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis and you get into the rest-based formula, it teaches you exactly how to do that. Okay. So the last one is this, saving the best for last. Love this one. Working just 1 day a week provides the same psychological benefits as working full-time. We hear from reading Dr. Burchell in their recent findings. Leaving the workplace can cost retirees and those who have been laid off from their identity, purpose, sense of worth, and social circle, all of which can have emotional health benefits. A paid part-time job can be a solution. Now, this study was done, I believe, in conjunction with the University of Cambridge, the UK, and done with over 70,000 people, published in Social Science and Medicine. Why do I love this? Because I don't believe anyone should ever retire. If you retire, you should retire because it allows you to do more of what you love. Don't retire to do nothing. It's a recipe for going downhill real fast. If you retire, go to do what you love and volunteer work. My grandmother lived to 89, did over 10,000 hours. I believe it was over 14,000 hours of community service and volunteer. I don't know if it was the largest, but in Southern Maine Medical. I mean, unbelievable. Southern Maine Medical Hospital. She went there, I can't remember, 3 days a week for 20 years. I mean, it was phenomenal. She drove herself there. Even when she was living alone, she cooked her own meals, very self-sufficient, had a reason for being. She loved her books. I always say that's where I think I got my love of reading from. My grandmother finished a book a day. She surpassed me, of course. She came before me, but she can't hold a candle to her for sure. And it was amazing. And she worked and she did her volunteer. And so keep going. Work a day, let's say you're a retired professor, you're a retired real estate agent, you're a retired lawyer. Consult for a day a week. Seriously. Consult with what gives you purpose and self-worth, and it makes you feel good about you 1 day a week. Do it every Monday or every Tuesday or every Wednesday, whatever you want to do, 1 day a week. I can tell you this, I'm never going to stop writing. I'm never most likely going to stop doing video and podcasts. I'm always going to teach. In some fashion or another, there is no way you will separate me from the health-based field. There's just no way. It'll morph, it'll change, it'll say more on anti-aging, it'll be more on this or more on that, but it will never, documentaries, you name it, but I will never separate myself from this. It's who I am, it's a part of who I am, and remember, always follow your passions. Do more of that. It will never lead you astray. You'll live longer, you'll live healthier, you'll be happier. Thanks so much for tuning into today's podcast. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the Black Friday events going over at equilibriumnutrition.com. And of course, if this podcast was helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it can serve. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.